Hi there, welcome back on the channel. As you can see, we have another Audi today. Sorry about the decor, it was kind of raining, then snowing, and now it seems to start raining again. But I found this spot and hopefully it will come out alright. Yeah, it's a new Audi, not really the type that I'm usually reviewing, but anyway, I couldn't say no. It's the Q7 from 2025 actually. It's got about 1 month, so nearly brand new. It's done about 2,500 kilometers, so once again pretty much brand new. Yeah, it should be interesting. What about the configuration of the car? Well, it's sort of a baseline Q7. In Audi terms, it's the 45 TDI, meaning that we have a 3-liter diesel engine V6 with a single turbo that develops 230 horsepower and about 500 Newton meters of torque on a 2.1, almost 2.2 tons vehicle. It's not going to be amazing in terms of outright performance. From the spec sheet you can see values as high as 220 to about 225 kilometers per hour, and the sprint from 0 to 100 happens in about 7.5 seconds. So as I said, it's not amazing, but considering that this is a mild hybrid and it's got a real Quattro all-wheel drive system with a torsion-based differential, and the real gearbox with torque converter, automatic gearbox with torque converter, with 8 gears from ZF. The consumption values are actually amazing. Yeah, Audi states something at around 8 to 8.5 liters on average. But this car, at least for the past 2,500 kilometers, says it only got to about 10 liters, which, as I said, it's pretty impressive. So yeah, maybe that's the main aspect to be concerned about, not really the outright performance, because it's a family car. It's supposed to carry you, your family and your luggage in comfort. So yeah, not really a performer in terms of specs, but we'll see more in the driving part of the review. And I talked about the luggage space. Let's have a look inside. Not really a fan of the new Audi rings from the outside, but anyway. Being a premium car, this is how it's supposed to be. The cover lifts itself up, so not a worry in that respect. The usual carry-on luggage looks actually petite in here, because you can squeeze at least 9 to maybe 10 carry-on suitcases like that one. We also get some tethering hooks, some lights in here. Let's see, on the left side, a small pocket with a 12-volt outlet, a hook once again, and you can lower or yeah, actually you could for the most part lower the rear air suspension to get your luggages easier in here. Then you can raise it by using this command. As you can see, we don't have any space here. You can really push your luggages inside. And under the boot floor we have a small spare wheel and some additional space, actually quite a lot of it. The subwoofer of the sound system is also in here, so yeah, quite an interesting trunk space. Now let's check out the back seats. First thing to mention, the door is actually quite huge and opens quite large, so it's way easier to fit a child seat in here. And the materials for the most part are a bit hard up here, but they feel nice. You do have sort of an Alcantara design here, with a soft squeegee armrest, a blast from the past, from older Audi models. Also the door handle itself, it's quite soft. You have a decor element, a pocket and a speaker. Continuing inside, we have some nets, a couple of air vents and the climate unit that is capacitive. It's only active when the engine is running. We do have some light fixtures as well, and you can see another one back there, probably for the models that do come with 7 seats. We have a central armrest as well. Let's see, quite a small one, but at least it does have cup holders that are actually adjustable. That's nice. And also you can recline the seat on multiple steps and go with it front and back. So this is the space back here. As you can see, I have more than enough of it. It feels like one of the bigger cars, not even or maybe even the biggest car that I've reviewed until now. I do have only about 3 fingers of space for my knees, but the front chair is way after the B-pillar of the car, and I also can stretch my legs underneath. In terms of headroom, yeah, I have plenty. I mean, sorry about that. I have plenty of space, something like 2 palms, so huge amount. Yeah, I found a couple of 12 volts outlets with an interesting design under the climate unit. I didn't saw them earlier. So yeah, all in all, seems like a station wagon that's raised up. That's my impression. You can slide the bench, as you can see. You can recline the back seats as well. But I do have a small minor complaint, almost as usual. The rear bench is not long enough. The base of the seat is not long enough. I don't get enough under thigh support. Now in the front passenger side, the same materials as in the back, the same design as well, with an additional control for lock and unlocking of the doors from the inside. It's weird that the pockets are not covered, but anyway. Continuing with the seat, it's an S-line configuration, so it's a bit sporty. You are not able to squeeze this part of the seat, but it's more than fine like it is. We do have electronic control for it, and even you can adjust only this part of the seat, and the extension of the base, it's actually as well can be extended electrically, plus a 4-way adjustment for the lumbar support. Now I'm gonna take a seat inside. Almost no door closing sound because we have soft close, at least on this model. And as you can see, I have more than enough under thigh support. The chairs are really comfortable. You have some interesting decor in here. The materials on the center console are not soft, but I mean, for the most part it's alright. The space is more than enough to stretch your legs without touching it. Not a fan of the piano black, but anyway. The glove box is nice and covered and pretty deep as well. So yeah, all in all, it's alright. And at last, let's check out the driver's side. With a similar door card, again with an additional control for the electric windows, outside mirrors, and the opening of the trunk, plus the seat gets memory function on this model. Otherwise, the seat itself is identical, obviously. We do get a small cubby in here that's also covered, and again, quite deep actually, and the leg controls on the left side of the steering wheel. Let me have a sit inside. This is a driver POV. Let me just start the engine. Being a mild hybrid, it starts way easier than a typical diesel engine. And surprisingly enough, for a car that's manufactured last month, we still get physical controls on the steering wheel. Yeah, this is an S-Line. It does have an interesting decor. The 3D logo still present in here. The right side controls the multimedia and the left side controls the infotainment, not the infotainment, the gauge cluster. We also get some pedals for the gearbox, the typical Audi stocks for wipers and lights, and also the cruise control. The gauge cluster, it's all digital. It doesn't reflect as much in real life. The blacks are even deeper in real life. But compared with some other models, this one at least is not really all that configurable. Yeah, you can use it to watch the map or some other information. But in terms of the view, this is pretty much all you get. At least you can see the oil temperature in there. But I would have liked some usual stocks and not those kinds. Anyway. Continuing, we have the S-Line interior with the black headliner, the SOS button and light fixtures, a mirror that's dimmable and frameless, the infotainment screen that you already probably know. Not amazing, but it works for the most part, and you also get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The climate unit is again display, and yeah, not amazing, but it will do. You always get the information in there, so at least it doesn't go away. Then you have some touch controls as well. This whole area vibrates when you touch it. You can deactivate the stability control. You have the hazard lights and the defrosting front and rear. Sorry about that. Then you have the start-stop engine, the parking sensors and the parking camera, and the assistance systems with another knob for the infotainment screen. Then we have the gearbox selector actually, the parking brake, and also the auto hold function. And under this cover we have another 12 volt, that's not so impressive actually, a slot for your key and a couple of cup holders that are adjustable. And under the central console we have a wireless phone charger, a couple of USB-Cs and some storage space. Welcome to the driving part of the review, now with the Audi Q7. And I've been driving the car for a moment because I wanted to go outside the city. Obviously this is not a vehicle to use inside the city every day, so it's more appropriate this way. And also I'm not expecting traffic, so it will be a bit interesting this way. So my first impressions, even though it's quite a large car actually, especially here in Europe, it doesn't feel that way while driving. I mean, it's so easy to operate, the steering wheel is so light, the gearbox blends in the gears without noticing, without you even noticing. The brakes are easy to modulate, they're smooth, even though the thing weighs over 2.1 tons or something about there. So yeah, it's actually pretty easy to drive, pretty easy to get used to it, despite again the dimensions. But yeah, I'm impressed. The suspension, it's an air suspension on this model, deals with bumps without a problem, even though we have 20 inches in terms of the rims. The insulation, again, it's a premium car. It's quite an expensive car, so you would expect it to be decent. And even though we don't have double glazed windows, the insulation, it's still impressive. Until 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, you don't even get wind noise, which is odd. Probably the front windshield, it's acoustic, but other than that, you don't get noises from the outside mirrors, even though they are quite large. You only hear a bit the tires, because they're quite wide, so it's something to expect. But once again, rather than getting a lot of noises, because you're sitting quite high, it's a tall vehicle, it's an SUV. Yeah, it's comfortable, without a doubt. And if you're using it outside the city, like it's meant to be used, it's the perfect vehicle to drive up to 1,000 kilometers in a day without getting tired. Especially if you option it with the multi-contour seats that move under you to make your muscles move for a moment. So yeah, those are my first impressions. The engine obviously is not something to brag about, but in terms of performance at least, but it's quite enough, even though it's a diesel engine. And as you can see, I reset the trip meter, and for the last 25 kilometers the consumption is 6.7 liters on this behemoth of a vehicle, with all-wheel drive, permanent all-wheel drive, with the torque converter, with space for your whole family and their luggage. I mean, what else can you ask from it? Yeah, it's not a quick vehicle. I'm gonna do a sprint in a moment, but spoiler alert, don't expect much from it. But it's not meant to do that, so I don't really care, honestly. It's that comfortable. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I am a fan of Audis, and this model especially reminds me, even though it's an SUV, but it reminds me of my former car, the A7. And yeah, I think this is one of the most comfortable cars that I've reviewed. And again, even though I'm not a fan of SUVs, I really see myself with one of these. I don't know, it's something subjective. Yeah, I know, I'm not really able to explain why, but compared with BMWs or Mercedes, at least, I would rather go for one of these or maybe the Q8. I don't know. Until I can do the sprint, let's talk about the maintenance for a moment. Being a diesel engine, you know my advice: do the maintenance at around 10,000 kilometers. I don't think you're supposed to use it inside the city, so I'm not even gonna bother talking about the maintenance in that regard. But if you only drive outside the city on long trips, you could probably stretch that interval to around 12. Not more, because, as I said, it's a diesel engine, it's a complicated engine with mild hybrid and DPF and AdBlue, whatever. And if you can afford one of these models, I mean, come on, you can afford to maintain it properly. The same applies for the gearbox. Even though it's a torque converter, do an oil change at about 80,000 kilometers, 100 tops, if you're only using the car outside the city. Be prepared to maintain the differential as well, the tires, because it's quite a heavy vehicle, and even though it doesn't encourage you to drive fast or in a sporty manner, they're probably gonna wear out quite often. And the same can be said about the brakes. Maybe it depends on how you use the thing. And that's pretty much it in terms of the maintenance as well. It's gonna be expensive to maintain, but you should expect it. Come on, it's a premium large SUV. Now I'm gonna do the sprint, and then I'm gonna share my conclusions, my impressions about the vehicle, and call it a day. Let me just go outside the main road for a moment. This surface, actually, it's quite bumpy and I barely feel it inside here. I already have the car on dynamic. I'm gonna switch the gearbox as well to dynamic. And while re-entering the main road, I'm gonna do the sprint. Let's see, from 20 to 100. That was it. Going back to comfort. As I said, not impressive, but it's alright. You're gonna manage with it without a problem. Even more so, it's impressive that even while accelerating hard, the engine doesn't protrude that much inside the cabin. It's really well insulated in there somewhere. So yeah, that's nice. In terms of my conclusions, the thing that I enjoyed most about the vehicle is the overall feel. It's a premium car, it feels that way. The level of details screams premium as well. I specifically enjoyed in this configuration the soft close of the outside doors that I'm really missing from my former car. You also get the electric tailgate, and the cover, it's also electric. Once again, premium feel. And yeah, with air suspension, it's a lovely thing to travel in. For long drives, as I said, I could see myself in it without a doubt. I also enjoy the tech inside, the assistance systems, not necessarily on this configuration, but it depends on how you spec it. And yeah, if I'm trying to find some negatives, I don't know, the rear bench is something universal for almost all vehicles nowadays. The fact that you don't get enough under thigh support. Something similar with my old car, that you don't get a place for your phone on the central console. It's somewhat mitigated by the fact that you have a wireless charger inside the central armrest, so you could store your phone there. Just have to get used to it. But other than that, yeah, it could be something. The interior of the car. I'm not a fan of the piano black. It's way too much piano black on the central, on the dashboard and on the central console. And coupled with the screens, for me at least, that I got some OCD. I would wipe those surfaces pretty often. It collects fingerprints, it collects dust, and I'm pretty sure it scratches just by looking at it. So yeah, that's my downside for this vehicle. But as I said, other than that, I mean, come on. It's an awesome vehicle, even though it's an SUV. And that's my conclusion. So if you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing to the channel and also appreciating the video. You can also use the comment section to leave your impressions, or the social media. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. Until next time, thank you for watching.